isn't it? Not that it makes a difference. Although I have noticed that some people think that the pandemic's over now. Just walking a little bit too close to me. So I have to give them a little dirty look. And they're so gimp, they don't know why I'm like that. Get out the fucking way. Get away from me. You disease-ridden germ bag. I asked some questions again. The theory is that it gives it some sort of structure. I know we still end up talking about me being in a fucking bucket of my own urine, but at least I make an effort. Well, I don't, you do. But it's a chance to get your question on. So just, do you drink every night? Yeah. Thanks for asking. This is from Nancy. Ricky, if you didn't have to work, what would you do with the extra time? Well, I don't have to work. Luckily, I do a job that I love. I'd sort of be doing this anyway. On a day off, you have ideas and you think of funny things. When I wasn't doing this, I did this. When I had a normal job, I still thought of funny things, sketches or, you know, 25 first line of a novel. You know, you've got to be creative, even if no one sees it. I think well, I have, and I think a lot of people have got to do something. Some people do things that are creative that they don't even realise that it is creative. Like the fact that my mum, you wouldn't say she's an artist or she's creative, but she could do everything. She could garden, she could make things grow, she could make meals out of anything. She could make clothes, she could decorate, she could do anything. She made ends meet. It was, and there was just like no one commented on it. It was just that was what she did. If I wasn't allowed to be creative, what would I do? I suppose I'd do what I do when I was on the dole. I'd do a lot of sport, just run around. When I was on the dole, I just go into Regent's Park and just join in with football games. Like blokes playing after work, I'd wander down there. Go, can I play? Like a real fucking like a little loser. So yeah, I just think you've got to keep busy, got to keep active, do things for fun. Karen Chen, have you experienced rejection that almost crushed you, and what advice can you give to aspiring writers, academics, etc., to cope with it? Well, I know the answer is I never experienced that sort of crushed me. You have knockbacks, not so much in this career, because it was sort of quite quick and everything was quite positive and it evolved quite quickly. And also with this job, I was doing it before I knew I was doing it. So it wasn't like I left a top job as a headmaster to go and pursue my dream of painting in Paris. I sort of eased into it. I was sort of making money before I realised, oh, I guess I'm a comedian or an entertainer or a radio. Do you know what I mean? So, but when I was trying to be a musician, it was like years of like gigs and demo tapes, and no one was interested. But I just thought I like doing it. I'd want to be doing this anyway. I just wasn't a millionaire. Do you know what I mean? I was playing in a band and having a drink after. I mean, I suppose that the question is when it gets to a point where you've got to give up because you're not earning any money and you're going to lose your house, or I don't know. I'd say don't lose your house. Try and fund it in some way. With the amount of work I do, I've realised I probably could do a full-time job and write a sitcom. What I couldn't do is film it and all that stuff. But if you want to be a writer, I think you really can do it in your spare time, and not mortgage your house and not have nothing to eat. I mean, that was my choice when I was trying to make it. I had no money. That was my choice. I just, I had no money because I didn't have a proper job and I wasn't making money. But I wasn't whinging because I liked doing what I was doing. So yeah, that's probably terrible advice. Sharon McCrindle says, "What is your most useless talent?" Oh, I can say "see you later, alligator" with my mouth shut. Watch. See you later, alligator. Not useful in any way, but pretty cool. See you later, alligator. You asked. Martin Johnston, was there a specific event that inspired you to write Afterlife? No. It came about in lots of ways. I first thought I should do another show. I was on tour with Humanity, and I'm off staying in beautiful, hotels, castles, and I thought, I've got all this. I'm making all this money for an hour and a half work at night, and I felt guilty. So I thought I should work. I've got to work during the day. So I thought, I'll write a new show. And the seed of the idea was, imagine you didn't worry about consequences of what you said and did. And I suppose that comes from, it was early 2017, and it was the beginning of proper cancel culture. I don't just mean people whinging, being offended. We've had that forever. And I don't just mean the authoritarian liberals being the ones that wrote a snotty column. I mean now there was a real mob mentality, and people were mobilized, and they were structured, and it was like a little army, sort of underground army on the internet and even in real papers who would revel in getting someone fired. They would ruin someone's life because they were on the wrong side, or they said something they didn't agree with. And I thought, wow, that's scary. And these people would capitulate, and they'd say sorry because they wanted to keep their job, or because they were boycotting the company they worked for, and the company said, you've got to fucking apologise. And I thought, and I was in the middle of Humanity, and the stuff in here, thinking, fucking hell, what if they write letters to Netflix and Netflix go, we can't put it out, Rick, this is the most offensive shit ever. I didn't change anything. I just trusted that Netflix would stand by me, and they did. But that was the thing of, you can't say anything. And I thought, imagine you didn't give a fuck. Imagine you were going to die tomorrow, so you could do what the fuck you wanted. And it was like I thought of it like a liberating superpower. And then I had to think, well, why would you be dying tomorrow? I didn't want to just do, some sort of fantasy he knows he's going to die. So, no, what if you lost everything and you were going to kill yourself, and then you didn't, but you thought, I've always got that to fall back on. And you were going through some sort of trauma that you didn't care about anything. So that was the seed of the idea, being able to say what you wanted, not care about the consequences, and not be bullied by the mob, And then the next thing I had to worry about was, what's losing everything? Then that's like, your soulmate. And then that was the other study in Afterlife, the perfect relationship. And now And that's when the title came, Afterlife. He thinks his life's over. It's after his life, so he doesn't care anymore. But that was the themes, really. So no event, just how the world sort of, not that it's any better. It's probably got worse. But you know, it is pretty crazy that people can think that they can play victim and get someone fired. And some people just aren't victims, but they've thought, I know how to, I can get what I want here by just saying, oh, like that Canadian lady who went to court. She was oppressed because she couldn't get her balls waxed. So things like that influenced it. Rodney Squires, are all religions eligible for ridicule? Yeah, of course. I mean, all ideas are up for criticism and ridicule, without exception. And what people try and do is they try and give ideas human rights. So they try and conflate, they try and say criticising Christianity is criticising me as a person, as a Christian. That's my belief. No, it isn't. That's like me getting offended because you don't like maths. You should be able to, just because people jump in the way of the bullet, again, trying to be the victim, you can criticise, because I could say, well, no, I think you're a victim too, if you're oppressed by your religion. And I think people who think, if you hate religion, that doesn't mean you hate people with religion. Any more than it means if you hate cancer, it means that you hate people with cancer. You hate the disease. You feel sorry for people with cancer, but you hate the cancer. And some people are offended by that analogy, but again, it is just an analogy. So no, you should be able to criticise ideas. And if people get offended by that, well, you know, it's not your problem. You're not criticising the person, you're criticising the idea. They're the one that's saying, well, that's criticising me. No, it isn't. It isn't. You should be allowed to criticise any idea. Particularly, and the more the ridiculous the idea is, the more it should be ridiculed. That's what progress is. You know, people used to put leeches down their trousers to cure things. Are we meant to respect that? I respect your right to do it, but I do not respect the idea. You know? So, I hope that answers your question. Oh, is Joey the cat? That's not his name. I've added on his species as purely descriptive. Joey, would you rather know how you're going to die or when you're going to die? God. Oh, it can't be when, can it? It can't, because that's it. It's over then. If you know when, you can never relax. So it's got to be how. Again, is that specific? Like if they said you're gonna die, you're gonna be run over by a certain bus in a certain place, you go, well, I'm never going there. I'm never going there. I don't know. You can't change it. Or do you mean, oh, that's horrible, isn't it? That's horrible. Unless it was, you take that risk, wouldn't you? It can't be when, so it's got to be how. And hope it's not, you're going to fall and land on a spike. It's going to go up your ass and out your mouth. And you're going to be going, and people will be screaming and trying to put, you know, I might plump for that and they go, oh, you're going to die in your sleep. Oh, brilliant. So, but it can't be when. Tuesday the 14th, you know, that would be fucking horrible. What a horrible countdown that is. Even if it's fucking miles away. Even if they say, I suppose if they said, oh, you know, you're going to die at 104. Oh, horrible, isn't it? Thanks, Joey. Okay, now. Right, yeah, Rupert, the dog. Haha, I knew Joey would pop in. Lovely, Joey. I have a question, Uncle Beanbag. Uncle Beanbag. That's coming from a fucking speckled udder. As you are so good at writing shows, after you've finished Afterlife 3, do you think you'll do another office-style series? Maybe one set in a nurse's home, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That was my favourite film, Till I Saw Godfather. I still love it. I think it's an amazing film. When you do those silly questions for sort of trade magazines and that, actor stuff, they always ask what would be your ideal role, and I that would be it, the Jack Nicholson role, the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Not that I'd be any good. I'm saying it's just an amazing role to play. I thought it was amazing in it. Yeah, I will do another series after Halfway, but I don't know what that'll be yet. I don't know. I mean, I've got one in mind, but if I have a better idea, I'll do that. I might go the other way. I might do a broad comedy in front of a studio audience, with lots of dressing up and falling over. I don't know, Roop. You fat little bloated haggis with eyes. You big, you water-filled balloon covered in carpet fluff with eyes. Just insulting a dog. Just insulting a fat Jack Russell. Well, thanks for your questions. That was fun, wasn't it? It wasn't too ranty. No cocks in drains. There was me dying with a spike up my arse, coming out of my mouth in agony. But oh dear. Still. Yeah. The pandemic's not over, right? Just don't. People just walking along now, ambling along. They're doing nothing. Just. Oh, God. Well, I say it would be okay if they were the only ones that suffered, but it's not. The rest of the world suffers. It's like they're holding us to ransom. 4 months, nurses have been working long shifts, risking their life, missing their families, for people to just fucking go out on a beach, dropping litter, coughing on each other. You fucking morons. Oh dear, this is why I'm not a politician. This is why oh God. Maybe I should do a series that I get somehow I get into power. Well, I don't know, worse has happened. And I just go out there once a day. I go out there and go, right, put the fucking BBC one on, right, put it on telly on, right. And now is hurry up, right, you fucking moron, stop going out coughing over people. I'm going to send the police in. Right, anyone dropping litter gets a punch in the face. Okay, bye, enjoy yourself. But I wouldn't last. Oh God. Well, it's degenerated. If I'm not taking this seriously, then why should you? Um, Thanks for following. Thanks for retweeting things. Uh, I've tweeted a little viral from Afterlife with a nice little sad song. Have a look on my. And I tweeted the last picture I took of little Ollie in my armpit. So yeah, have a look at my Twitter feed. I'm also on Instagram. I'm trying to do a little bit more of that, just for a laugh. Just photos. Some of me in the bath. Um, you got to do some, haven't you? All right. Well, thanks very much for tuning in. When should we do it? Do it Wednesday, shall we? Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.